We're going to call the meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals, January 13th, 2022, to order. A couple of things before we get to the approval of minutes. I think you knew we were supposed to talk about that Tetra Tech or appointing somebody to be the
peer review.
Right, the peer review. It didn't get on the agenda, so we can't talk about it tonight. Are you guys available next week just for probably a 5 or 10 minute quick meeting to do that?
Yep. I thought there was another meeting scheduled for next week.
There is not next week.
The week after, the 20th?
Yeah. Yeah.
So next Tuesday?
So, no, we can't do Tuesday because Monday's a holiday, so we need the 48
that's right.
hours. So Wednesday, you available on Wednesday?
I am.
What time? It doesn't have to be 7, it can be earlier if everybody's around.
Yeah.
And how are we gonna get hold of Amy? We're gonna do it by Zoom, or is she just gonna, we have to check with her on a time? or-
She already told us,
Okay.
let her, I don't know if she can come in on Zoom. She was going to come in tonight on Zoom and talk
Okay.
about it, but
Yeah.
she's already has the recommendation, so it's
Okay.
really going to
And
be
this is
pretty
the-
quick.
yeah,
But we can't do it tonight just because it
Okay.
didn't make the agenda, so it's up to you. What time is good for you guys?
I can be here.
Yeah, 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock?
6 o'clock, okay,
Okay.
on Wednesday?
Yep.
Okay. And that is what?
That's Wednesday, the 19th.
19th. Here, correct?
Yes, and it would just be for that one particular item. to,
Just the three of us, we'll vote on that.
Yep.
and Talk to Amy.
So that's not executive session.
It is not an
that's just-
executive session, yep, just a regular open meeting. And then the other one we need to schedule is to review the discovery in Kearney versus Town of Abington. So we were looking at January 27th, which is a Thursday. If
And
that's
which one is that again?
That's the property up on Adams Street. That's a suit that we're involved with, and Amy's going to come in, and they're requesting some discovery from us, so it's things that she needs to go. That would be an executive session.
Okay, that's
All right.
gonna be scheduled, regular meeting.
No, it'll be January 27th, so it'll be a special meeting just for that particular
Okay,
item.
all right, yep.
Is that okay? If 27th okay with everybody? Yeah. 6 o'clock okay on that one too, or?
Yeah.
Yeah? Rick?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
good.
all right. So those are those two, all right. Now we can move to the approval of minutes. We have December 9th. Anybody wants to make a motion?
I move that the meeting minutes from December 9th be approved.
Is there a second? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then we have December 16th.
I move that the meeting minutes from December 16th be approved.
Is there a second? And a second by Dave. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous. So the Tetra Tech we're going to do next week. So we'll hold off on that. Next on the agenda is the continued hearing, Stacy Smith, 78 Doris Drive. I'll just read the notice. Zoning Board of Appeals, public hearing notice. The Town of Abington Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Thursday, January 13th, 7 o'clock at the Abington Town Offices, 500 Glenwood Way, Abington, on the petition of Stacy Smith, 78 Doris Drive, Abington, to appeal the zoning enforcement agent's decision for violations under 175-21D, 175-21H, 2, 3, and 5, and 175-47 for uses related to a commercial business at 78 Doris Drive. The property is located on Assessors Map 4, Lot 171, in the R30 zone. Andrew Burbine, Chairman, Zoning Board of Appeals. And again, this is continued from October 14th until tonight. And if anybody is out there on Zoom, this is a hybrid meeting tonight. Zoom is also present. So if anybody out there wants to speak on any of these matters that we're dealing with tonight, when we get to the public comment session, just hit the chat box and Liz will get you in, or give her a wave and she'll allow you in to speak. Okay? So So is Stacy here? Good evening. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Good. So when we last left,
Everything is gone
it is.
except for the musical bubble bar, which is parked beside my garage, behind the driveway, out of sight. And I'd like to know what it will take just to leave it there.
Well,
Everything else is gone.
right. What it would take to leave it there, I guess, would be some sort of an appeal to the... Tonight, all we're dealing with on this is whether or not you were in violation as of the date that that violation notice went out, which was, I think, August 30th, correct? So we're here to determine whether or not, at that point in time, you were violating the zoning bylaws as set forth in the zoning enforcement officer's letter. So as far as whether or not you can have something like that there, you'd have to file some sort of other type of an action to get that back in front of us.
Oh, I think that's why we're here.
No, we're here because you were found in violation of the zoning bylaws, and
Okay.
you requested a hearing to have that overturned. But we're not here to determine whether or not you
I did
can,
not know that, okay.
prospectively, whether or not you can continue to keep that there. So, I don't know if you wanted to say anything further on what the zoning enforcement officer issued in her letter. And we had a pretty extensive hearing a couple of months ago, and heard from you at that point in time. We heard from some of the neighbors as well, and some of your friends.
It was just not clear, it was very, very confusing, and the zoning officer didn't make it much easier. And I had everyone come to the house, including the fire department, the police department, and Scott from, the town manager, and he told me that I was fine. So that was the confusing part of some of the complaints. And then to get the letter, that's why I asked for the hearing, because I was getting mixed reviews.
Oh, well, you didn't understand that, well, I think we kind of explained last time, it was a hearing.
Yeah, I understood it,
Right,
after I came here, but
Okay.
for some reason I thought that today was going to resolve just the musical bubble barge being parked beside my garage.
no, I think when we left it here a couple of months ago, we left it with the hope that maybe everything would be resolved, including the bubble barge, because according to the zoning enforcement officer, that is in violation of the zoning bylaw.
Which I didn't quite understand why it would be any different than any other commercial. It's not even a commercial, it's just a trailer that I have, that I use for both for personal and for work.
But it's not like a contractor's truck or a contractor's van, it's a separate,
But why would it have to be like? It's,
because that's what the zoning bylaws provide,
right,
so.
it's a similar purpose
Yep.
as.
Maybe the purpose, but it's not.
But it was a law created in 1958 where.
But that's what we had to deal, that's all we have to deal with.
Right.
So
Mhm.
the way to, I guess, to try
I
to
understand.
resolve it differently is either file something to come in here and see if we can't give you some sort of a variance or a special permit. And I'm not telling you how to do it, and you obviously would do that on your own. Or look to change the zoning bylaws. So, but tonight, what we're dealing with is whether or not on August 30th, when you were cited, you were in violation of the zoning bylaws pursuant to zoning enforcement officers, letter. Okay? So anybody else want to speak on this matter, or? No? Okay, so, thank you. All right?
Bless you.
I don't think Liz knows that she's... So at this point in time, I guess we can make a motion to close the hearing, if somebody wants to do that.
Make a motion to close the meeting on 78 Doris Drive.
Is there a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so now, I guess it's up to us to determine whether or not, as of August 30th, based upon the zoning enforcement officer's letter, Ms. Smith was in violation in accordance with that letter. This requires a unanimous vote to overturn the zoning enforcement officer's
And
letter.
who's voting on it?
Be the-
The three guys?
Yep.
My question is, when is this dated, all this information that we have right now?
What's that?
The information in front of us right now. Do we know when she went out again? Did she go out again? Is that what you said?
No, I don't think, I don't know if she has gone out again or not,
Uh-huh.
but tonight we're just dealing with whether or not on that particular day she was in violation.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Okay?
I just was wondering if she's gone out since.
Yeah, I don't
because-
know, I don't know.
Yeah, all right.
It's all been resolved, I mean, everything's gone, except for when we.
Well, I always just thought that she would've gone out and double-checked to see where you're at right now.
None of the stuff we received would indicate that she has.
No.
Right?
So no one else said anything since that date?
No. No.
But one of the
I
issues,
mean, as they asked me to do things, I just.
We
I'm sorry.
we close the hearing, Ms.
Yeah.
Smith, so,
my understanding at the time we had the original hearing was that people felt that there had been a violation and that she was working to
clear it.
resolve it.
Exactly.
And
Well, I
one-
think that's part of the reason we gave the continuance. I
Right,
thought that's the way it
right.
was gonna come back, is that
And
it would clear it up.
the other part of that was that the open trailer, the height of it was more of an issue for some of the people that were concerned about it, at least my understanding.
Yeah.
And if the trailer's still there, I don't know if that still is bothering anyone or not.
But even if it is still there, I mean, again, we're just based on.
That, based on what happened in
On,
August.
right, on August 30th with that letter, because that's what the appeal is about, so.
Yeah,
So you can, I guess you could make a motion to overturn the zoning enforcement officer's letter, or you could make a motion to confirm her letter.
Well, at the time, I mean, there were violations,
In my opinion, they were, yeah.
yes. I have no idea what it's like right now, so.
Right.
well, what you're saying is that right now it doesn't,
Doesn't really
Matter.
matter, not on what this hearing is about, right,
right,
yeah.
she could apply for something else as a
Yep,
separate matter.
potentially, yep, that's a separate matter, yes.
Right.
So in the point of pushing the meeting was to let it get cleared up.
Well, that's what I think we were hoping, is that it would be, I thought that's what
100%
we
resolved.
kind of, yeah, I think that was, everybody kind of understood. We'd give her till the end of December to get everything cleared up, so. Not that she wouldn't still have been in violation at that point in time, but,
But at that, that was the,
yeah, that was the intent, yep. So I'll make a motion then. I'll make a motion that we uphold the zoning enforcement officer's citation.
I have a question.
The hearing's closed, ma'am. We closed it to the public, so.
It was confusing what was last time, I know
The hearing's closed, ma'am.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's
Could I
unanimous.
just ask, can they hear us okay? I just was wondering, with our masks on. The volume's good.
We can hear you on Zoom.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
thank
Just wanted
you.
to double check, thank you.
Next on the agenda, 75 Dale Street, continued hearing, Rick Montgomery, read the notice.
Mr. Chairman, Chairman, I have Mr. Montgomery on mute and ready to go.
Okay, great. Zoning Board of Appeals, public hearing notice. The Town of Abington Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Thursday, December 9th, 2021, at 7:15 PM at the Abington Town Offices, 500 Glenwood's Way, Abington, on the petition of Rick Montgomery, 37 Orchard Lane, for a variance under Section 175-14 to utilize an existing driveway as a common driveway to allow access to both the existing and proposed dwellings for 75 Dale Street. The property is located on Assessors Map 586364, Lot 14, and 122-127 and 2-3 in the R30 zone. Andrew Burbine, Chairman. Again, this is a continued hearing from December 9th, 2021. And the voting members on this would be Rich, Rick, and me, because Dave, you weren't here that last time, so. Mr. Montgomery, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am requesting a continuance.
Can you just tell us the reason?
There is more information that was needed by Concom, and I believe that the engineer wants to go in front of Concom first and then come back to the other two boards.
Okay. And you're looking for 30 days, is that, that's my understanding? So you'd come back to the next meeting?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Somebody want to make a motion to continue this matter for 30 days?
I move that we move this matter of regarding 75 Dale Street as brought forward by Rick Montgomery until our next scheduled
February
Reg-
10th.
February 10th.
I second it.
In a second, any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is Fred Butts, 75 Niles Street. I'll read the notice again. Zoning Board of Appeals, public hearing notice, the Town of Abington. Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Thursday, January 13th, 2022, at 7:10 PM at the Abington Town Offices, 500 Glenwood's Way, Abington, on the petition of Fred Butts, 75 Niles Street, for variances under Section 175-29 for a front setback of 35 feet and Section 175-26A to construct a 28-foot by 28-foot barn 8.2 feet from the property line at 75 Niles Street. The property is located on Assessors Map 43, Lot 88, in the R30 zone. Andrew Burbine, Chairman, Zoning Board of Appeals. Good evening.
Good evening, folks.
How are you?
Good, thank you for your time tonight.
Good.
Thank you.
Do you by any chance have the map of the property? Because unfortunately,
There's an enlarged one in the file.
there is.
We looked at it at the last hearing. It was colored.
Oh, there it is.
So why don't you explain to us a little bit about what you want to do, sir?
Okay, I got it. Thanks.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Why don't you explain to us just what you what you're looking to do?
Oh, I mean, I thought it was pretty easily described. It was just
It is, but
a variance for the frontage for the proposed barn.
So the required setback is 35 feet,
Yes, correct.
and you're looking to construct a freestanding barn, right?
Correct.
With a setback on the front of 8.22 feet?
From the property line, correct.
Yeah. So, in order to get a variance, it's not an easy thing to do. There's 4 things you have to do.
Understood. Yep.
So we need to make sure that you cover all 4 of those.
Okay. Could you explain all 4 things?
Yes, okay. So, first, that there are circumstances relating to the soil conditions, the shape or topography of the lot, which especially affect the land or structures in question, but which do not affect generally the zoning district in which the land or structure is located. So, I'm presuming there's not a soil condition issue here,
No.
or topography? Is it
It's pretty flat, I mean,
Flat.
new construction home, but they graded it pretty good towards the house, but where the proposed barn area is, it's
Yeah.
pretty flattened out over there.
it is a bit of an odd-shaped lot, I see
It's
that.
very odd shaped, the sewer easement, and there's
That's
just
true,
no
but-
way to put it to, keep everyone happy with the different variances with the sewer easement and everything.
You couldn't, I drove by it today just to see.
Okay, yeah.
You couldn't push it back to where the shed is?
Yeah, it would just be, again, we'd be deterring the rearage rather than the frontage, I just,
But I think if you take a look, and again,
we could push it back, but it's still gonna, not gonna clear the frontage issue, you know what I
Right.
mean?
But you're not gonna be 8 feet
you're not
away
gonna
from
be
the
8 feet,
road.
you're not gonna be 8
Yeah,
feet
yeah,
from the
open
road.
for discussion as described in the application. I just wanted to see how far forward that you guys would allow, not potentially set on that. I just wanted to show you, I wanted it close up to there as possible, not being a garage.
So you have a garage, you have a shed.
Yes.
So just 17526 just states a detached accessory building may be erected in the side or rear yard area no closer than 10 feet from any side or rear lot line.
Mm-hmm.
No closer than 10 feet from the principal building, which you're okay with, right?
It's 11,
Yeah,
it's marked at
11
11.
Closer
feet
than,
from-
so
yeah,
you're
yeah.
okay there. And in conformance with the front yard requirement of the district. So, again, I guess you talked to the building inspector about this, but would you be able to push it back to 35 feet and then just still be only 10 feet from the back line?
Because the 8 feet is way too close to the road.
I thought I had a 30-foot rearage, I thought it wasn't 10 feet from the rear.
I think
It's 10, isn't it?
it is, I
We
think
should look
because
at
it's an accessory building, and again, I think you'd need to check with the building inspector on that, but
Okay.
I think by right you'd be able to do that. I
Okay,
think, as opposed to putting it right up
yeah.
on the road like that.
Because usually it's side and back are the same.
Yes,
For each
but
of
because this is an accessory building versus the main structure,
Right.
I think
So why was the shed 12 feet and now this would be 10? That just confuses me.
I don't know.
I don't know who put it in.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right, I don't
you
know.
don't know.
That's what I call.
How long ago the shed
Once
going?
we put the shed in, they said it was a 12-foot from the rear property line. That's where it was installed.
How long ago was the shed going?
Shortly after we purchased, probably that summer.
Which is, how long ago was that?
Within 6 months, I would guess,
So you've been only there 6 months?
No, we've been there, we purchased it March 2019,
Oh,
I
19,
believe.
so, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that long.
So that would be my thought, is see, you'd have to move the shed, obviously, I guess, right?
That would be a problem. I just, that wasn't put forward for an option for me. I was just had it working with those rearage and frontage, which doesn't work at all,
Right. What do you guys think?
I'm with you on that. It seems way too close to the road, seems, although we look at the property and you do see that it is,
Very obvious.
very, yeah, and then you get the sword easement. But I'm with you on it's too close to the road.
I would rather have you check to see if that's something that you could do.
Yeah,
Push it
I
back and
believe it came
still-
up in conversation, but like I said, it wasn't an option to me at this time, but now.
Did
it
you
is, I
speak to the
guess.
building inspector about it at all, or?
Not directly. I
No.
just spoke to the representation on the front desk.
How many square feet is the house and how many square feet will be the proposed garage?
It's in there somewhere.
It is on, it's on that plan.
28 by
The
28.
once everything's built, it's 24.3%.
We can't have the
So it's under the
sec-
25.
Okay.
It is, just under. it,
Yeah,
but it
yeah,
is
it
under.
just makes
Now,
it.
this thing here says the 30's on the rear.
Right, but I think because it's an accessory
Accessory
building.
Oh,
I
so it's
think-
not the primary. one.
Right, I think that's what I think you need to check with the building inspector on to see.
Okay.
Because you might be able to do it as of right versus having to come
Yeah.
in front of us, so,
Right,
right?
yeah.
So my suggestion would be if we continue this for a month, give you time.
Yeah, this is a complete game changer. I appreciate a
If that's,
continuance.
if it's an
yeah.
option, but,
Those facts were not brought to my attention until now, so.
and the other thing I think during that period of time that you could do is on the application materials that you get,
Yep.
it explains what the criteria are for a variance. Go through each one of those, because you need to make the position that I'm affected by all four of these. And you have to, all four have to be met. in order for this board to be able to grant a variance.
Gotcha.
And I do appreciate to see what you're building now. This
Yeah.
is a good
It's a nice,
idea of what you're gonna have,
I thought it'd be more fitting, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's just,
Yeah. what you're looking for.
yeah.
so if that's something that you'd be open to, we could continue this till the February
Yeah,
meeting.
so it would alleviate the 35-foot frontage and it would be acceptable.
Well, it wouldn't alleviate it if you could push it back,
Right,
so you have 35
Yeah.
feet. It would be, I guess,
so we're just working with 10 feet off the back property line,
Right.
correct?
well, I guess if you push it back to comply with the zoning in the front, the setback in the front to 35, see how far it would be from the property line in the back.
Looks like it'd be about 4 feet, I was just doing the math.
It would be. So you'd still maybe need a variance, but it might be more inclined that you'd get a variance for something in the back versus in the front.
Right.
Okay, there's multiple neighbors that divide my back line lot. I don't know if that would matter or anything, but,
Well, they had notice about this.
right, okay, all right, yeah.
Yeah, because in the back, you'd only need 6 foot compared to 20-something in the front,
Right.
you know, so it's much easier to do.
So if we pushed it back to the 10-foot line, it would still be 6 foot less with a 35-foot frontage?
Well, if you pushed it back so the front was off 35 feet, you'd only have a 4-foot space in the back of your property line, but it's a little bit easier than 26
Yeah,
feet in the front. You know?
and then, I don't know, does it have to be 28 by 28? Is that something cast in stone? Could you make it a little less so you fit within the 10 feet if you pushed it back, or?
Yeah, I could, but it's just the space is what I'm looking for, you know what I mean? I got a 2-car garage, once you put 2 vehicles in it, there's no room for anything else, you
Yeah,
know?
so this is basically a big shed, is that basically what?
Yeah, absolutely, you know, kids' toy, it's the
Yeah,
basement's
yeah,
all
yeah.
right, you guys know, you got families, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah, I would ask that maybe you rework it and see if,
Okay, is there somehow we can, I can schedule a sit-down with the building inspector, or is it
yeah,
just-
I think if you
okay.
call,
Yeah.
I think if you call them and ask them if you can sit down, sure.
Okay, all right,
Just see how far back you can set it and,
Yeah.
and decide whether the building has to be smaller or to request a variance from the back setback for an accessory building.
okay. I know we won't be able to give you the decision.
No, but they give you some they will give you some ideas.
Right,
Because right
Yeah.
now, it's way too close to the front of where the road is. That's how we're looking at
I
this.
agree, I think, yeah.
So it's more important to the road
Yeah,
than my neighbor's lot line?
well, when it comes down to it. I
Okay.
mean,
All right.
Well, if the neighbors in the back object, you know, if you're 10 feet off of that, they
Yeah,
don't have an objection for an accessory
Yeah.
building.
Right.
If you made it 6 feet smaller lengthwise,
That-
you
then-
could fit it inside the perimeters of the 10 feet in the back and the 35. You keep the 28th width
And comply with zoning.
and comply with zoning, then you don't have to come
Yeah.
before us.
Yeah.
That's just a.
So you do have options.
At least you
Yeah,
can talk to them
and
and
that's
see
the other
what.
thing, so there are options here, which, again, if you look at what the variance criteria are, you
Yep.
do have options, so it's not as though you have to have
Okay.
this, so.
so if I made it small, I can comply with everything,
Again, I think
Potentially,
check with
yes.
check with the
Potentially,
building
yes.
inspector to make sure, number
Okay.
one, okay?
Yep.
And,
Appreciate your time.
And if
Yeah.
you come, and we'll continue this if that's okay.
Absolutely, yeah.
Nancy will give you a form to sign to continue
Okay.
this to the next meeting. And then also look at what the criteria are for variances, because it's not an easy thing to.
All right,
Yep, I'm gonna get to the audience.
all done, appreciate your time.
We're not done yet, because
No, not done yet.
there might be some people out in the public who want to speak
Okay.
on or against, so, yes, ma'am. Can you take the podium, please?
Thank you. We trade places.
I'll give you your 6 feet.
Thank you. Jean Matiosis, 32 Niles Street. I am a resident up the street. I'm here as a resident, not as a conservation person. But I was wondering if I could take a look at that picture and see what the dimensions are as far as that plan goes, because when I went and started looking at this, because my concern was the same as the board's, it was awful close to the street. I mean, 8 feet off a sidewalk, my concern, stormwater drainage, where's that all gonna go? If this plan that was submitted, these are your copies. If these are still the same that was submitted the first time, this is what I found on the building department site, which also shows you here, this was where the original garage was. which would be helpful for you to see. The original-
Behind,
When they tore down the original house, the original garage was set back to the stone wall. And one of the things about this area on Nile Street, I've lived there for 52 years, is that there is bordering vegetation, wetlands to the west of his property, and there is also a perennial stream, which is protected under the Riverfront Protection Act, and there's a 200-foot buffer on that. So, I mean, knowing that the property abuts this and that 95 is actually the floodplain area, it's an area of concern for me, but where the original garage was set there, it would make more sense.
but it's right behind the house, right behind the,
Correct. You can see the house where they planned on building the new one and the additional garage, and then you can see the, under that, you see the original house.
it's almost where the shed is. almost.
Correct.
And that's what you're talking about, that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, and in order to meet the zoning and everything, I think, like you said, I mean, I know men collect stuff, my husband does, but sometimes you have to put a little on it, you know, when it gets a little too large. So he could probably do what he has to do to bring it in. But that was my concern, is that there is a 200-foot buffer for the perennial stream in there.
And where is
And,
that located?
Yeah, I just don't
Can you
see a stream.
Sorry? No, I know, it's
Where is
not
it
on there,
located?
but we have an issue with another property that was stopped because of violations without a DEP. And I did find that when they built that house, they had to go before conservation. They had to file with DEP. So I can give this to you. This was from the conservation minute meetings. They had to file when they rebuilt the house and put the garage in.
Okay.
So,
So you just show them where the garage used to be, pretty close to where you want to put the garage.
right. So, and that was my
Yeah.
comment.
All right, thank you.
He keeps a very nice yard.
It
I mean,
looks,
his
it looked
property
nice
is-
today when I drove by.
His
yeah.
property is impeccable, but it's just that 8 feet off the sidewalk, I was thinking
very
ice,
close,
yeah.
drainage,
Yeah.
where's that gonna go?
Yeah,
Right.
Thank you.
thank you. Anybody else have anything to say on this particular petition? Yes, sir.
Jane Matiosis, 48 Nile Street.
Can I say something first?
You gotta tell you who you are.
I'm Ron Bernard, 48 Nile Street. And I know you drove by this house, which is very nice. When they built that house, they built the property up a lot higher than the other house was, because the other house was just below street level, and the whole yard was below street level. They built it up so high now, and when he moved in, he cut all the trees down, filled in the whole yard up to sidewalk level. So now when it's pouring rain out, our yard's across from him and the wetland, so the water has nowhere to go but out in the street. It's eroding the sidewalk, and it gets into the wetland, so we're getting twice as much water in our backyard now. And I just don't know, like, I was looking at the property because it's so small, where you're gonna put a building this big. And I got some pictures here, you just,
Yeah, if you want to submit them, yep.
It's just to act as a tool to get an idea, because I didn't know anyone was gonna take a ride by. And I made some notations on them. But, I don't mean to overtake you, but I have a question.
Yes.
Now, he's calling it a barn. If he called it anything else, would that change the codes?
Accessory building,
It's an
correct?
accessory building,
That's what he's asking for, correct?
yeah.
Now, can this barn house cars?
He has a garage, no, it's zoning provisions in there as to how many, if it's a garage versus an accessory building, so you only allow
Okay.
one garage.
And will there be a driveway going to it?
We can ask him after you're finished. if that's
Because, you
okay.
know, it seems like an awful lot is built on this little piece of property, and where's all this water gonna go? You know, you've got the perennial stream, and you'll notice there's a picture before Mr. Budd purchased the house. I clicked on it too fast, but it shows the road shortly after that house was erected and finished. How the street flooded right across. And on a good spring, it's gonna happen. You can keep them.
Yeah, we'll
But
put. we'll
these are
keep
just
them in
acting
file.
like, I didn't know that someone was gonna drive by. But it really needs someone to come out and really look at it. And I have another question. Would conservation get involved where he's in the buffer? It will?
Potentially, I guess.
I found out when I saw the plans, I had no idea until I pulled it up, but then I said, wait a minute, we have an issue with another area. Similar, right by the same stream.
So,
I'm here as a resident.
yeah, but you would know better than I as to whether or not he's
Um,
close enough to the wetlands to have to go in front of the Conservation Commission, so,
Right.
yeah.
I think, but don't quote me, because of the Riverfront Protection Act, there is a 200-foot buffer. But where the pre-existing garage was, that may not be an issue, but where it was proposed closer to the street, I think that, I'm not sure. I would have to have the board, the commission look at it.
Take a look at it.
And check with DEP. But, yeah, originally when the plans were submitted in 2016 to tear the house down and rebuild, they didn't take into consideration the stream. They just said it was in the watershed protection area, floodplain watershed protection area, is how it said on the NOI and the meeting notes from 84501.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm fairly new to the board, so I'm...
Yeah, so that might be something, Mr. Butts, you might want
You
to
might
check
want to touch base with Conservation.
Conservation Commission as well to see if
Yeah,
you're
just,
within.
just for your own...
I mean, is this the creek right here you're
Within
talking
their
about, in
jurisdiction.
this picture?
Yeah,
And it's not on his property, right?
no, but he's within the 200-foot,
Okay.
because just the way DEP explained it, is the 200-foot, it has an open bank.
So it kind of goes like this, correct? There's the neighbor's
Yep,
house,
and there's-
and there's the creek.
There's the creek, yep, exactly. There's the house, and then, whoop. So I don't know what it is from there to there, but
Correct,
you
yeah.
might want to...
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Anything else?
Well, yes, but I just lost my train of thought. But your question, Mr.
Negrelli.
This is, I brought this up so you could see, because I know you said you had a question, you didn't see the stream, that's the stream right there.
And the house is?
All right, so this is my home,
Mhm.
that's Mr. Butts,
Okay.
and that's his neighbor up here, in
Okay.
that 60 Elm Street, and then there's a couple of houses from Brockton Ave.
Okay, I see. Well, I can actually see it in this picture better, from right here. That's a pretty good picture. All right.
Because last time we had the meeting, Rich, you had suggested that somebody go down and look at the property, because when you're looking at the plans, you said everything didn't look quite kosher, so you were gonna have somebody look at the property, just to go over it.
It just makes
Just
You
sense.
did,
drive
yeah, you
by.
did a drive-by.
We can't go on
It
the
just
property.
makes sense to look at it.
Well, we can't go
because-
on the property. We
Oh, yeah.
can drive by, take a
Drive
look,
by.
and that's not really our
I
function to
just
walk.
think something that large, so close, I'm right across the street, I
Yep.
don't want to see this big square box, you know? I just think
We
it would
understand your
bring down
concerns.
the value of the neighborhood. It's only 10 houses on the street, you know, and everybody's garage or shed is basically either behind the house or right beside the house, and then you're gonna have something, bam, you know, that's all you're gonna see.
Yep,
All right, well, that's it. Thank you
great.
very much.
Thank you very much. Anybody else have anything to say on this particular petition?
Did you want those pictures back, or can we keep them?
Keep them.
And what else were we given?
Oh, no, those were your copies.
Okay, so that's for Nancy.
Yeah.
So if we're agreeable to continue this till the next meeting?
Yeah, I would like to see the photos while they're
Yep.
present.
Oh, yeah.
if you
Yep,
don't
yep, I was
mind,
going to ask you, actually.
No.
I apologize. You can take a look at them.
Oh, one copy of the plan. May I? One more time?
Yep,
In an R30 zone, when you do build, there's a 25% maximum for
Correct.
coverage. And I think the calculations on his drawing here are not what is reflected in the assessor's database. I was coming up with variances. I came up with approximately 26 square feet because I couldn't really read the numbers on his map where it says how long his building is. It said 3821 across the front, and in the assessor's map, it says 40. On the basement entryway, it says, I think on his map, 5 by 5, but yet on the assessor's database, it says 6 by 6. And the shed, I think it says here 12 by 15.
16.
Does it say 16?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Okay, because I thought it said 15. Okay, so then that's right on what the database said. Because I just couldn't read their map, so that's,
He provided us with
Yeah, we have
an
this right
engineer's
here.
plot plan.
Okay.
Who did all the calculations, and it comes
Okay.
out, if that proposed barn is allowed, it would come out as lot coverage at 24.3%.
I'm sorry, say again?
24.3% with the barn built.
Okay.
That includes all the driveway, the shed, the patio.
So that was
The
the
deck.
same as what this was that I gave?
I don't know, I haven't seen that one, so.
Oh, no, that was the same one
I
I
just
gave.
passed that down.
Oh,
and it-
well, I'm
it's-
looking at this one.
It's a
Oh,
lot.
all right, is that, all right.
Yeah. You all set with those, Mr.
With the
Bush?
photos, yeah.
Is that the
Was there
deal?
any photos of water flowing into your yard at all, or? Is that another matter? I mean, I don't know.
No, that's just one of their concerns.
Yeah,
I
there's
mean,
just,
my yard has standing water every time we get in excessive weather, you know? So I don't know.
I do see a storm drain there too, right by your fence.
Yeah, that's on the other side, the opposite side where the shed would be going, you know? And, the road is crowned, it's not in great condition, but it's crowned and fixed with the sidewalk, and, I don't see any standing water in front of my house besides the drain on my, other neighbor's yard, you know? So I don't know.
All right, so
Continuance?
if it's up to, that's your choice.
Yeah, continuance, please.
Okay, so, I suggest you talk to the building inspector and see if there's a way you can get it on there to comply
Yes.
with zoning. If you can't, then see what would be the minimum that you'd have to come back here and request.
Very
And I
good.
think you also should check, based on Gene's suggestion, check with the Conservation Commission to make sure that you're not,
Yeah, I looked into it when the house was built, just to see what was on record. I mean, nothing went through
Yeah.
for that the house to be built, so I don't know.
okay.
Does
I'm
that
just,
change
just,
things?
just
Yeah,
only because she raised it.
Of
so,
course.
All right?
Here, I got a copy. It's just the
So-
boundary vegetated wetland.
Somebody want to make a motion to
Right
continue
here. If you
this
go to the
to
building
our next
department, you
meeting?
get a copy
I'll make a
of this
motion
map.
to
It'll show you the,
continue
bordering vegetated
Petition of
wetlands,
Fred
and then
Butts
over
on
here is
75
the,
Nile Street for a variance
Kelly's
to our next
property,
meeting
but-
on
and the
February
stream goes
10th.
through there, and that's
Is there a
left side
second?
of
Second.
USGS.
Any discussion?
Perennial stream.
If not, all in favor?
I can have that?
Opposed?
Yes,
Yeah, I
thank
can
you.
find the as-built.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Okay, so come back on the 8th.
Yeah.
10th, I'm sorry. February 10th.
Thank you.
You're not gonna get notice of this, so make sure that, okay, so
February 10th, can I borrow her pen?
Yep.
She said I need to sign
you
something?
need to sign this. Seven o'clock, yeah. 7 o'clock. Close enough. Okay, next on the agenda is Wathsala and Christopher Grijalva. I'm just going to read the meeting notice again. Zoning Board of Appeals, public hearing notice. The Town of Abington Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Thursday, January 13th, 2021, at 7:15 PM at the Abington Town Offices, 500 Glenowitz Way, Abington, on the petition of Wathsala and Christopher Grijalva, 47 Colonial Road, for finding per Chapter 40A, Section 6, for a 15-foot by 12-foot rear addition and vertical expansion at 47 Colonial Road. The property is located on Assessors Map 45, Lot 44, in the R30 zone. Andrew Burbine, Chairman. So this is a Section 6 finding. This is a majority vote versus a unanimous vote on a Section 6 finding. So, hi, folks, how are you?
Good evening.
Good. Can you just give us a brief synopsis of what you're looking to do?
Sure. So at 47 Colonial Road, we are looking to expand off, a partial expansion off the back, rear off of the property, and vertically expanding the second floor of the property as well to match the expansion off the back.
So you went in front of the building inspector initially, and they told you you needed to come to see us?
They told us that we need to come to see us. There was one amendment that we had to do regarding the deck that would provide egress to the expansion for the second floor, which was amended on the plan.
Yep. Any questions?
No variances needed?
Nope.
So this is an existing non-conforming,
Yes.
single-family
Definitely.
that's going to be more non-conforming. So what our role here is, if the project will intensify a non-conformity, which this will, the zoning board must make a finding as to whether the proposed change, extension, or alteration will be substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood. So that's basically what we have to
So-
find. Is it?
This is the property line, and your deck already goes over it, is that what I'm looking at here?
Correct. The current deck does, so once that is going to be rebuilt, that will be removed.
And then what, you have 5 feet away from the property line?
Yes.
Okay.
But
So
the
you're not right up against it?
We're not right up against it, and the addition is on the other side of toward the
Okay.
center of the plot.
Any questions, further questions from the board at this point? If not, I'm going to check with the public input. Any input from the public? Okay.
The 35-foot height limitation, is that on the building itself or on the center line of the building? I guess it would be the center line anyway.
I would think so.
Yeah. You guys already measured that 35 feet from, doesn't it?
Anything else, guys?
I got nothing.
No?
I don't have any.
Okay. So why don't we take a motion to close the hearing?
I move we close the public portion of the hearing.
Is there a second?
Second that.
Second, all in favor?
All in favor.
Aye, opposed?
I was just slowing the draw.
It was just stretching.
Now we need to make a decision on the petition itself. And again, if the project will intensify the nonconformity, which I think it does, right? Because it's nonconforming and then it's making a deck that's more nonconforming. So it's making the nonconformity intensified.
But it is taking it back over the property.
Yeah,
line, at least,
but,
so it's-
yep,
So the existing deck is really not conforming.
right, yeah, the whole, right.
Yeah.
So because of that, what we have to decide is whether or not, whether the proposed change, extension, or alteration will be substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood. That's basically what we're determining, whether or not allowing this to go forward would be more substantially detrimental to the neighborhood. And if not, then we can grant the finding. Anybody want to make a motion?
So I'll read the. How do you read this? Make sure I understand it better. What's that?
That's the one.
Yeah. Would make a motion that we approve the finding per chapter 40A, section 6 for a 15 by 12 rear addition and vertical expansion, as well as the deck that will no longer be over the property line.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous.
Good luck.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Just want to make sure that
Say it the right way, yeah. I
Yeah.
had my- some mistake from that.
Okay, next is the petition of Michael Wojcikow. Close enough. 1097 Washington Street. That's you? Okay, you can come on up. I'm just going to read the hearing notice. Public hearing notice, zoning board of appeals. The town of Abington zoning board of appeals will hold a public hearing on Thursday, January 13th, 2021 at 7:20 PM at the Abington Town Offices, 500 Glenowitz Way, Abington, on the petition of Michael, you tell me how to say it.
Voitkov.
Oh, I was way off. Wojcikow, 1097 Washington Street, for a special permit under section 175-32-I to create an in-law apartment utilizing existing barn space to serve as an accessory apartment at 1097 Washington Street, Abington. The property is located on Assessors Map 46, Lot 38, in the R30 zone. Andrew Burbine, Chairman, Zoning Board of Appeals. Okay. I'm going to call you Michael because it's easy.
Perfectly fine.
Why don't you tell us what you're looking to do?
So effectively, the property is the 2018 post-fire rebuild. We actually came in front of the board a few years ago for our own finding because the property was existing non-conforming. We did get permission to tear it down from the insurance company, not realizing that by making it conforming and pushing it back, we were actually breaching, Article 40, Section 6. So we had pushed the property back into conforming. We've got the finding from you folks to be able to do that. So the property in and of itself is now conforming. The last remaining component of the property was the barn that existed from 1850. We tried to keep some of it based on the fact that that was the least damaged component. But effectively, as of the pandemic and everything, my parents have effectively become priced out of the market. They were renting over at Halstead. They got a notice their rent went up by almost $1,000. And it's come to the point where they've already moved in with us. Luckily, we have enough space in the house as it is, but we have another child on the way. I'm going to need the extra bedroom coming up in a few months. So effectively, what we'd like to do is take the existing space in the barn, which is already partially finished from before. We put in a part of the original building plan of the rebuild. Currently, we have a pantry and little mud room in that area. We'd effectively just like to convert it to 2 bedrooms and a kitchen upstairs, so that my parents can effectively have their own space, since we're living together. So.
So when we're looking at this here, the dining room, the porch, the living room, is that all built already, or?
Yes, yep, so effectively, all of this is already built.
So you're just
This is
asking
just-
for this section right
Yep.
here?
So this is the existing 1850s barn that remained on the property. It used to be used as the garage. That got deleted because now our garage is actually underneath the house, coming in from this side. So this barn, like I said, the downstairs of the barn, because it is a 2-story barn, would just be converted to those 2 bedrooms and a half bath, and then that would be the upstairs, effectively living area. This is built in the house already, but we never finished that bathroom. It was always sort of future plan, so we're gonna basically take out a few feet to give them a full bath
I see.
upstairs as well,
So-
basically cutting our bathroom.
So the upstairs bathroom is not a full bath? I got it.
The bathroom would, yes, it would, yep,
So it's 2 floors?
yes, correct.
Okay. 2 bedrooms.
And the floors exist. It's not like we would have to reframe the upstairs. It's actually my wood shop right now. We've got a ton of, actual heavy machinery in there and all
So
that.
now you want to make it legal?
So
in-law.
basically just want to make it a legal in-law as opposed to just, sticking them up there and doing it that way.
Got it. Yep.
And then I do actually have a signed letter. There's a couple of our budding neighbors that weren't able to make it today, so
If you want
they
to.
dropped this off.
Read them if you want, or I'll
Yeah,
read
sure,
them, or,
sure.
yep.
To the Town of Abington, Massachusetts Zoning Board of Appeals, we, the undersigned, fully support the petition of Michael Voitkoof of 1097 Washington Street, Abington, Mass. for a special permit to create an in-law apartment in the existing barn at 1097 Washington Street. John Davidson, 1094 Washington Street, Paula Davidson, 1094 Washington Street, and Alan Carlson, 1083 Washington Street.
Okay. Why don't you give that to Nancy, just so she can put it in the file? So there is a concern that the building inspector has raised, Michael, as far as
Sure.
what the total square footage of the living area is gonna be. They have not, they can't calculate it based on what you have given to them.
Okay.
And it can't be more than 900 square feet.
Yeah, so it was, I believe in my actual application, when we calculated it out, it was like 860. So it was under the 900. And I guess the component that I'm not certain about is because we'd have like a shared space in that, that's already finished effectively, like that little walkway that's the
It's like a
mudroom.
breezeway
That
walkway, so that's part of the
breezeway,
main
that
house.
exists in our house at this point. Like I have access to that. When you walk through the door, we use that as our mudroom. That would sort of be like a shared mudroom area based on the way that the architect drew it. But if that pushes the accessory apartment over, we would put an additional doorway in so that it's in the main part of the property, keeping the accessory apartment under 900 square feet.
Yeah, I think that's what they're looking for here.
Got it.
Yeah, because I don't see any door on the, let's see.
Yeah, so there was originally going to be a door basically in that breezeway coming in from the side door.
Right. So you're gonna
No,
put the
no.
door somewhere and,
Yeah, no, that's the upstairs.
Okay,
So
all right,
effectively,
sorry.
this exists right now,
oh, there it is, okay.
and this is our pantry.
Yep,
So we would basically give them the pantry. We were thinking about putting the door there, so that effectively this is still existing as part of this. Dropping that, and that would drop it, I think, to under 800.
because that is a concern. She doesn't want it over
Yep.
900.
Yeah.
So where the bathroom would be here, that is not existing right now?
So it exists as our master bathroom, but it's not finished yet. So we were gonna
Okay.
actually cut that out. And so the trade-off between what that would be up there and, sort of the breezeway, that
Okay.
effectively negates it to
So
get it
that's-
under the 900.
That's, what I wanted to make clear was that was part of your existing building, but you're gonna make it part of
The accessory
the
apartment.
accessory
Correct,
part. Okay,
yeah.
I just wanna make sure I understood that clearly.
Yep,
But that's the part where we're gonna get the
yes,
calculations.
of course. And again, I mean, I'm a licensed CSL, so I would be acting as the general contractor on this, so we'd go through,
Yeah.
the permitting process and make sure that we obviously comply with everything else as we look for that, so.
So there is two accesses out here, correct? Two
Yes.
doors, 1, 2.
Correct.
Is there any deck that's going up against this? Or?
Nope. We don't plan on expanding the footprint of the house any more than as-built right now. Everything would be contained within the footprint of the existing building.
Our other concern was, it is our opinion the bathroom spaces are not part of the calculation of accessory apartment, and these should be included. Is that included in your 900? or-
Yeah, so I mean, effectively, the barn's 20, like, if you just even roughly took the barn's 20, now I'm mixing it up, if
This
you
is-
calculate it, it's literally like 882, if you were to take the footprint of the inside of the barn, like, and the 2 stories, so it's, sort of that, again, that's where I was gonna figure out the trade-off with the building department, of if we kept the breezeway on our side, to be able to give them the bathroom upstairs, to stay under that 900 square foot amount effectively.
Well, she is concerned about the footage, so you have to work that out with them.
Sure.
And then the last thing I'm going to point out that she raised was, also, the building inspector and I would like to call to the attention of the board, this request is for 2 bedrooms. And during our time here, we have never seen a request for 2 bedrooms in an accessory apartment, nor know of one,
Understood.
which has been granted in the
Yeah,
past.
so the reasoning behind it is my father's had multiple heart surgeries, and they actually can't sleep in the same room anymore. So, effectively, they've been sleeping in separate beds, because my dad actually sleeps a very specific way, having had the heart surgeries already. So, at this point, even when they're in our master, they're actually on opposite ends of the master, hilariously enough. Just because that's sort of how they got used to it. When they were renting, At the Halsted, they were in two separate bedrooms, their place, and it's just sort of the way that they've been
Thank you.
living since, so, sure.
Anybody else have any questions? If not, I'm going to open it up to the floor to see if anybody in the public has any
Sure.
input.
Hi, Eileen Wall, 17 Brookfield Road. I'm in a butter neighbor of Mike's, and I just am here to support. I have no objections. I think it's a nice idea. I'm sure he'll do a good job, so just here to support like the other neighbors. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What about, does that add another vehicle to the mix of the property?
Yeah, so effectively, based off of the calculations, the existing driveway coming up to the barn would suffice for the additional parking spaces that would be needed to add that in. But we also have the two-car garage underneath it. There will be no more vehicles than are currently parked at the house. So, effectively, I think based off of the requirement of having the additional 2 spaces, that's met with the existing driveway that's on the property. Because again, the barn used to be used as a garage by the former owner. It's obviously, you can't fit anything but the small car that she had, so sort of deleting that and having the undercar garage, sort of, we meet the requirements as far as I know.
Anything else?
And is there an elevation drawing of what it will look like with the changeover from it being a,
It's effectively, the only thing that's gonna get changed is the color of the clapboard. It's gonna look exactly the same. We sort of kept it in that
But
farmhouse
you'll have a
style.
window, right
yeah.
instead of the door there.
Pardon?
In the front of that, you'll have a,
So it'll be two windows,
Right.
effectively to match the facade of the sort of the kitchen windows.
so it'll match up with the other part of the house, but you'll maintain the structure from the
Yes.
1800s.
Yeah, we have no intention of doing anything except for re-siding it with new clapboard.
Yeah, you've done a great job with that building.
I
Oh,
appreciate
yeah, I agree.
it. Yeah,
Very nice looking.
it's a labor of love and sweat
A lot
and
of work.
tears and a lot of work.
A
and
lot of work.
Honestly, we're still, I can't finish the landscape because we can't get seed. My guys literally can't get seed.
Right.
And it's, it's been one thing after another since the beginning of it, but we're slowly picking away at it, and, we're just about there, so.
Anything else? Anybody? Any questions or concerns or?
You're talking about from amongst the board
Yep,
discussion?
amongst the board, yep.
Well, Depending on.
Can I close it to the public, or we could?
Yep, just one more thing,
Sure.
Michael. If this is, bless you. If this is granted, the building inspector is asking us that we include in the vote that architectural stamp plans be
Yes.
submitted.
Of course.
Okay, so we would make that a condition of
Correct, yeah.
the
I
special
didn't,
permit.
I didn't finish I wanted to make sure we got through this before I paid
Yep.
the engineer for the stamp, in all honesty.
Should
Money's tight, so.
should we add in that it should be under 900 square feet? That's what we're approving.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I think that's a good idea, Rich.
Also, just make sure with all the components you have associated with the apartment are included in the calculation and
Yes,
clearly listed, so that
yes,
there's no question what is in or out, just so that,
understood.
And you understand if this is granted, that you have to submit on a yearly basis an
Yes,
affidavit
the
stating
affidavit,
that
yep. Family members and
it's a
such.
family.
And honestly, I think we're putting them on the first floor because should they ever become incapacitated and not be able to go upstairs, they'd have direct access to the full bath and
Yeah.
kitchen downstairs. And we could honestly just delete the upstairs kitchen if we ever had to, and
Right.
just turn it back into, storage space and all that stuff,
Right.
so.
Right.
Sort of if you look at the plans, they're fairly simple. It's 2 partition walls that, should we not have family ever live there, we could, turn it back into something else.
Right. And when you sell the property, the special permit.
Yes, yep, that null and void, understood.
Is correct, yeah, okay.
We have no intention of selling that property.
Not after all
After doing all
this.
that work.
I don't wanna jinx myself up here, but we have
No.
zero intention of ever moving, so.
That's what happens when you finish a project.
Yeah.
I know that well.
No,
Thank you.
I mean, sort of to lighten the mood, I'm lucky that it was my wife who suggested that my parents move in at this point in time, and it wasn't a hard sell on my part, so I'm thankful enough there that we were able to sort of breach that, and, especially, her family's from out of town, so it's, it's a little bit different, but yeah.
Good, good. All right, so why don't we have a motion to close the hearing?
Make a motion to close the public portion of the hearing.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous. And now, what's your pleasure, guys?
I think as long as it's, we get the stamp plans and the agreement that it's under 900 square feet, I'm all in favor of it. I don't think the two-bedroom
Doesn't concern you?
doesn't concern me, especially in that
Well, it's a
circumstance.
legitimate reason.
Yeah, we know the
as to why.
circumstances
Yeah.
behind it.
And it could be changed into just being a master bedroom with
Right.
fairly simple things in the
Yeah.
future. It's not like they're on two separate floors or,
Right.
Yeah.
It is something different, though, that's for sure,
yeah.
just to bring that up.
Somebody want to make a motion then?
Already have it out.
All right. How do you say your last name again? Voitkoof. All right, I make a motion to accept the petition of Michael Voitkoof of 1079 Washington Street for a special permit under 17-32-I, oh, select 1, to create an in-law apartment utilizing the existing barn space to serve as an accessory apartment at 1097 Washington Street, Abington. The property is located on accessory map 46, lot 38, in the R30 zone, with the conditions that you keep it under the 900 square feet, and we get a stamped copy of the plans.
Is there anything else? Do we mention something else, too?
No, I think that was it.
Okay.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Michael. Good luck with it.
Good luck with everything.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Last on the agenda, David Cologne. Good, how are you? I'm going to read the notice again. Zoning Board of Appeals, public hearing notice. The Town of Abington Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Thursday, January 13th, 2021, at 7:25 PM at the Abington Town Offices, 500 Glenwood Way, Abington, on the petition of David Cologne, 216 Peregrine Road, for a special permit under Section 175-32I to create an in-law apartment, and for variances under Section 175-29 for a side yard requirement, and Section 175-26C for a garage exceeding 875 square feet at 216 Peregrine Road, Abington. The property is located on Assessors Map 18, Lot 77, in the R30 zone. Andrew Burbine, Chairman, Zoning Board of Appeals. Mind coming up and introducing yourself, please?
Good evening. My name is David Cologne. I'm the owner of the property. And so I came in front of the board about 2 months ago, and we just went over the addition and the drawing from the architect, which is the 2 sheets that I included. And we went over the request of 175-32-I for the in-law suite, and which is, the plans are here. And then I guess it exceeded the 900. It was 900 square feet, so it exceeded 25 square feet. So I had to submit. So here we are today. I added it this time. The 175-26. I also added, I don't know if it was there last time, but on 175-29, where we were asking for a variance because it was 14 feet instead of 20 feet to the neighbor's side, they had sent an email in which we printed out and included, just saying that they revised the plans and the architects and everything, and they agreed with it. They left their information as well. And then this time around, I'm bringing over, which I added as well, the professional drawing from the surveyor, and he added in a different color of where the property, the addition would be.
Is this the one that your parents were moving in to help you with your
My
child?
daughter, yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a daughter, I have a 3-year-old. She is diagnosed with autism. And so we're still learning, she was just recently, what's it called, diagnosed with it. So they're out at Weymouth, South Weymouth, so they're pretty distant, so we brought them in, and so gave them a room and all that, so they've been a huge help, helping us out. We both work far. I work in Everett, she works in Newton. She's a special needs behavior teacher. So with the commute and everything, having them around is huge.
No, definitely. No, I just remember you saying something about a staircase in the back.
Yes,
that you
so originally,
That's why you wanted a little bit bigger to get the staircase. Were you
Yes.
able to work that out still with changing?
so originally we went with 26 by 26. And then we talked about where our existing house is, and the proposed addition would take 4 feet of stairway going down from the top, going down towards the garage, with the purpose of possibly adding a wheelchair, electrical wheelchair, or whatever it is for the future, just keeping that in mind, not knowing what's it gonna go, just having our options open. So with that 4 feet, it actually pushed us over to 30 feet. So, but originally, we originally designed it on a 26 by 26, and then that extra 4 feet to divide, because it goes from the garage all the way to the top of the house, so it kind of divides both houses.
All right.
The addition.
Great.
So you're looking for a special permit, right, for the in-law suite. You're looking for a variance for the sideline setback and for the accessory use garage for the size of the garage, correct?
Correct. On the paperwork, I believe the architect put it in as, I have it in front of me. I think she put it in as, I don't know if it was 875 or 900, but I went over by 25, which is why I'm in front of you again to request for the 125.
Yeah, the 875 is that's the limit. So
That's the
you're
limit.
over-
Okay, so we went
You're over by
900.
25
Yeah, we went
on this
over by-
request.
yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, I don't know if you were here when I was explaining previously about what you need to get a variance,
Okay.
but there's 4 criteria you need to hit, and you need to hit all 4 of them in order for the board to be able to grant the variance.
Okay.
Okay, and first one is that there are circumstances relating to the soil conditions, shape, or topography which especially affect the land or structure in question, but which not affect generally the zoning district in which the land or structure is located. So we would have to find that this lot is, odd shaped lot, something like that.
Yeah.
And that-
Well,
that-
it seems to me that the house is not square with the
With the lot, yeah.
with the lot.
Mhm.
If you look at he's asking for 13.8 and 14 feet. So to me, that would make me think that this house is not square to the lot.
Yeah.
So it is a little off, okay? Just bringing that up.
Yep. That's-
So it is maybe a non-conforming
Existing.
house, if you
Structure,
will.
yeah.
It's not square with the lot. That's
Yep.
one thing, I see.
And then the second criteria you have to hit is that due to the circumstances especially affecting the land or structure, literal enforcement of the provisions of the zoning ordinance or bylaw would involve substantial hardship, financial or otherwise, to the applicant. So, can you go into what kind of hardship you might be facing if this is not allowed to be constructed?
I'm sorry, I don't understand that.
Well, exactly what you said before about your parents moving in, and
Yes.
is it a hardship for you to have a babysitter for your child, or?
So we did have, like I said, my wife does special behaviors in New England, so she understands more than I do. But we had people come over, provided by the state, and work with our child. Fortunately, once she hits 3 years old, she is not, they're not allowed to come to the house anymore after 3 years old. So we enrolled her in Abington, and so she just started Abington, but they won't take her a full day. So that's also an issue. And she's doing, I believe it's 11:30 to 2, so she's doing a couple hours. They said eventually they'll take her a full day, but they have to work with her and find out her needs and matches. So it's really been really helpful for us having them there. There's no other option since we both work.
Okay.
The third one is that desirable relief may be granted without substantial detriment to the public good.
Is there anybody here that's,
We have that letter from the neighbor who would affect, seems like they're all right with it.
yeah, I did read that they were very happy with it.
Yeah, they thought it was a good idea, so.
Did you want to read this?
I have a
Oh, do you
copy.
have it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have it in the package. If you want to read, go, feel free
Yeah,
to
please
read.
read.
Absolutely. So I actually brought them over the house, and I showed them the plans from the architect and just ran it by them. And they actually, in the conversations, I said, you know, I know it's supposed to be 20 feet, and this marks us at 14. So what if I switch our bathroom windows, which the picture you'll see on the picture on the side of the house, that it'll be towards there. Just switch like bathroom windows into higher, upper, smaller windows, just something that helps them, and they actually suggested it, and we like, yeah, let's do it, let's put it in, whatever you think it's comfortable for yourself. So we had a good conversation when I demonstrated the architect's plans. And then she actually emailed me this, and she just said she knew I was coming here, and she had emailed me, and she says, take this with you just in case, because we can't go. We both work. But the email just states, to who it may concern, this email is in regard to the garage/addition. After reviewing the variance to the plot plan, we have no issues or concerns regarding the placement of such structure. Feel free to contact me at the phone number below should you have any questions or concern. It was sincerely by Kenneth Marley, which is the husband, and he left his phone number. But yeah, they both came over our house and we both discussed it, just because, and we're good neighbors, they always help us, we help them. Same thing with up front, Bob in front, and the one in the side and behind us, they're all great neighbors to us. But yeah, we discussed it with them, and yeah, they definitely support it.
Okay, and the fourth criteria is that desirable relief may be granted without nullifying or substantially derogating from the intent or purpose of the zoning bylaws. So, obviously, these bylaws are adopted by the town because the townspeople want certain areas to be looking a certain way.
Yeah, absolutely. We went around the neighborhood before we came up with our plans or design or whatever, and several houses around, including one is fairly new on the other street, Priscilla Aiden.
Priscilla
behind us.
Alden, yeah.
I think it's
Priscilla Alden Road.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and they had a fairly new one too, and so we kind of lean into what keeps the neighborhood the same, and also because I said, hey, if this got approved, we get a better chance of doing something similar like this, is what I was thinking. But yeah, they took the architect around, took her around. She actually lives on Summer Street, which is 2 or 3 streets over. Saw the area, the neighborhood, and she came up with this to fit the neighborhood.
So just to your point, that last point you made, that's sometimes a reason why a variance might not be granted, is because, well, we gave it to you, and now the guy next door wants one, and then the guy next door wants one, and then all of a sudden, what was proposed for the zoning is out the window because all of a sudden, everybody's getting variances to change the whole look of the neighborhood and what was adopted as a zoning bylaw, so.
But there is one good thing, is everyone has a different story. Everyone basically not the same as...
No, and they shouldn't be, and that's why you have to hit all 4 of these criteria in order for a variance to be granted. Any questions, guys?
No.
You don't hear any wetlands or anything like that?
I do have wetlands. They're on the other side of the property. I have it in my plot plan, which is out in the car, but I have the insurance plot. But they're located on the far opposite direction. So behind my shed, I believe there's 2 feet across from me.
Okay, so that's something you have to build. Yeah. Where you would propose to build.
It's not near the build.
So the plans that you submit it has a kitchen and a living room, right?
Yes, so.
Is there a bedroom or?
The kitchen is not, I mean, we weren't even thinking of full kitchen. They, they help us a lot. They cook sometimes. Well, I shouldn't say sometimes, most of the times. So they will be using our kitchen. We built their kitchen, a small kitchen, with the intent of, like, if you wake up at 3 in the morning and you want to fix yourself something, your coffee or whatever you're into, or so that's the idea that we had. Mainly the eating will be, and the cooking will be done at my house. So we just did something small for them. And then,
What about a bedroom though? Where is there?
The bedroom right here, in the front, right in the front.
Yeah.
12 foot,
Oh, yeah, it's on.
we did like a,
Yeah, right there.
Oh, right here, okay.
Yeah.
we did like a, just like a small, regular living room, dining room, kitchen,
Yeah.
kind of mixed. 1 bedroom, and then their bathroom. We tried to, like I said, we tried to stay within everything code. We actually wanted it smaller, but then with the stairs and with the idea of the electrical, what is it? Yeah, the lift stairs, we kept that in mind. We're like, we don't know what's gonna happen down the road, so
No, it's a
let's
good
just
idea
be
to have the stairs a
ready.
little bit wider.
Yeah, so that's where it kind of pushed us open, and yeah, but it would just be downstairs 2-car garage, upstairs, just straight 1-bedroom living area.
so 2-car garage, but only 1 door, correct?
Yeah, the contractor or the architect put I believe a 16-foot 1 door.
And what's in the rear there?
Oh, so she was saying like another one for the back to go out towards the property.
I've seen more and more of those.
Yeah?
Yeah, because people bring their boats in and they go out to the back and they park the boat out back.
My wife said, because right where the end of the door is where we have our gate to go to the backyard, and it's the only gate. So she goes, how are we gonna get to the backyard? And so I said, well, I guess we're gonna have to move the door over, or we'll switch it to the other side, we'll figure something out. So the architect was like, oh, I could put another garage door towards the
And
back,
I've
a
seen that
smaller
before,
one.
It's even nice for getting lawnmowers and stuff.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Yep.
All right, I got nothing else.
Anybody else have anything for
No.
Mr. Cologne? If not, then we can close the hearing. Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, there might be somebody on Zoom.
Yeah, might be, I don't know.
If there's anybody who would like to speak on this petition? Okay, if not, then, thanks, Rich.
All right. I'll make a motion to close the public hearing portion of the petition for 216 Heritage Road.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So probably we should deal with the setback variance first, because that kind of, the in-law suite kind of wouldn't be built unless they get the setback.
Yeah.
All right. It seems like we could make the argument that he meets these 4 criteria for a variance. And as Rich said, everybody's story is different, so this is seems like kind of a compelling case for this, in my opinion.
I also agree with that.
Yeah.
Somebody want to make a motion?
Do we have-
We'll take them each separately, just so we...
Each one of those?
Yes, so we'll do the variance request, 175, section 29, we'll do that one first.
I move that we approve the variance request for 175-29 regarding it's the side setback, correct?
Yep, you want to make it in accordance with the plan.
In accordance with the plan. Also conditioned on, you have to have an architectural stamp on the, on
Final plan.
final plans.
That you submit to the building department?
Right.
Okay, so.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's all right. We needed the second, so that's good. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so that's unanimous. Why don't we do the next variance, which is the accessory garage, which is exceeding the square footage by
That's
25 square feet.
It's 17526.
175.26C. yes.
I move that we approve the variance for, with the size of the building, slightly exceeding the 875 standard, to 900 square feet for this building, pertaining to 17526-C.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
And then we have the special permit on the in-law suite, which is 175-32-I.
I move that we approve the special permit based on 175-32-I for the in-law suite. Also noting that you have to get what is the document from
Yearly affidavit.
the
Oh,
yearly?
the yearly yeah, you understand.
affidavit for this in-law apartment.
Okay, so get a yearly,
So every year, the
Uh-huh.
building department is going to send you out an affidavit that
Okay.
you have to return, and and what you're saying is that somebody who's living in that in-law is a relative.
okay,
So
sure.
it's not, doesn't
Yeah,
become
no,
an
it's not for
apartment,
rent, it's not for, I completely understand that it would never be rented, or it's not a two-family house, it's not, none of that, it's gonna be.
And then when you sell the property, that special permit is terminated, and the new owner, if they wanted to use it as an in-law, would have to come back in and also be able to
Okay,
They have to get their own
get their
special
own
permit.
special permit.
okay,
Okay.
fair enough.
There's a
Second that
motion.
motion.
A second, any discussion? If not, all in favor? Opposed? That's unanimous.
Just as a side note, now that that's done, my mother had a chairlift installed in her house. She's elderly yesterday, and a 4-foot wide stairwell. And you can also have if you have a person in the chair, you can also have somebody walking up beside them. If it's 4 feet, you can't really do that with a 3-foot stairway, so
Awesome.
I think that's a great idea.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
And my grandma had the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Once you said that, an extra wide. Now that I've seen that,
Yeah.
because it is a big deal, once, someone's gonna fall over in that chair.
We don't know, we wanna keep our options open, just because we don't know what we're going into, and so it'd be
Right.
awesome if we can have that extra help moving forward, and we don't plan to sell, we love it here. I come from Jamaica Plain, and she comes from, Weymouth, but we just kinda fell in Abington, and we love it. I mean, every other neighborhood, everything's amazing.
Yeah, well, good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I got one more question. Was I called before? This is the second time, and I'm always the last one, right? But my question is, my paperwork said 7:25. Was I right? Or was
Oh, you
I
were right, but
You're
because,
right, but-
because hearings go longer,
I got scared. I'm like, I look
No,
bad
it always
coming in
goes
late
longer.
every time. I'm like,
no, you're good, you were fine.
Not at all.
all right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you, gentlemen. Have a
Take
good
care.
evening.
Have a good night.
Good night, Nancy. Thank you so much. I bugged Nancy for like 4 or 5
She's
months.
awesome, isn't she?
I called her every day, I think, and bugged her so much, and thank you so much for helping me with this.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're the greatest, Nancy.
All right, so everybody knows now, next Wednesday, and then the
6.
following Thursday.
We'll get an email on that, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Just to remind us.
Yep, we'll get the
Did
agenda.
anyone get to, watch that thing last night on the video, the mess?
No, yesterday afternoon?
I forgot
no,
about it too.
no.
Everyone
It was
forget
at
about
1
it?
o'clock, so I didn't.
It wasn't, all right, so none of us got to see
Maybe,
it.
no, maybe they taped it or something.
I hope
think.
so,
Yeah,
'cause
that's
I like to see
I'll
it.
check on that, actually, I'll see.
Yeah, that'd be good.
All right, do we have a motion to adjourn?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next Wednesday.
Great job, guys.